They fall in love with you only for two reasons. The first reason is because of who you are, and the second reason is because of who they think you are. People fall in love with the idea of you. They fall in love with the idea that you have fallen in love with them. That's why so many relationships go wrong. That's why so many relationships fail. Because at some point, one or both parties realize that the other has fallen in love with the idea of them. I am not saying that there are people out there that truly love you for who you are. Of course, there are. But this is an important concept to understand when it comes to romantic relationships. You can be the most amazing person in the world, but if someone falls in love with the idea of you, they will build a relationship with an idea that doesn't exist. And eventually, one day they will expect the real you to match up to the ideal that they've created in their mind. And when that doesn't happen, they get disappointed. People fall in love with the idea of you. This is actually very common in long-distance relationships. Two people that meet online or through social media, they start talking, they start flirting, they start developing feelings for each other, but they haven't met yet. So they create an idea of who the other person is based on what they see online. Then they finally decide to meet in person and they're like, oh, this person is not who I thought they were. Why? Because they fell in love with the idea of that person. Same thing happens when you watch movies. You connect with characters. There's something about them, their story, their journey that resonates with you. You feel like, wow, I relate to this character. I feel like they're going through the same things that I'm going through. But do you really know them? No. It's just that their story is similar to yours. You're projecting your own experiences onto these fictional characters, and then you end up connecting with them on a deeper level. But it's really your connection with yourself that you're making through these characters. Now, well, this might sound a bit confusing, so let me explain it in simple terms. People don't fall in love with the real you. They fall in love with the idea of you. Who do you want to be? What kind of image do you project to others? Because that's what people fall in love with. They fall in love with the idea of you, the image of you, the concept of you. When you understand this, it makes it easier to deal with rejection. Because when you put yourself out there, when you show people who you are, they might not be attracted to you. They might reject you, but that's okay, because it means that they fell in love with the idea of you. And that's not who you truly are. The real you is deeper. It's more complex. It's more authentic. And the right person will love you for who you truly are. This also explains why some people are more attracted to certain types of people. For example, someone who loves the beach, someone who loves nature, someone who loves to travel. These are all qualities that people admire and they're attracted to because they represent a certain lifestyle, a certain way of living that they aspire to. But do they really know these people? No. They just know that they embody certain qualities that they themselves admire. Think about it. If you meet someone who loves the beach, and you've never been to the beach before, you've never felt the sand between your toes, you've never heard the waves crashing against the shore, you're gonna think this person is crazy. Why would anyone want to spend their time at the beach? But if you've experienced the beauty of the ocean, if you've felt the freedom and joy of being by the sea, then you understand why someone would love the beach. It's not just a place, it's an experience. It's a feeling. But when we meet someone who shares these passions, we admire it. We're drawn to it because it represents something that we value, something that we want to experience ourselves. But do we really know them? No. We just know that they embody certain qualities that we admire. Here's another example. Someone who loves to party, someone who loves to dance, someone who loves to have a good time. These are all qualities that people admire and they're attracted to because they represent a certain lifestyle, a certain way of living that they aspire to. But do they really know this person? No. They just know that they embody certain qualities that they themselves admire. The same goes for someone who loves to read, who loves to learn, who loves to grow. These are all qualities that people admire and they're attracted to because they represent a certain lifestyle, a certain way of living that they aspire to. But do they really know this person? No. They just know that they embody certain qualities that they themselves admire. So when you understand this, it makes it easier to deal with rejection. Because when you put yourself out there, when you show people who you are, they might not be attracted to you. They might reject you. But that's okay, because it means that they fell in love with the idea of you. And that's not who you truly are. The real you is deeper. It's more complex. It's more authentic. And the right person will love you for who you truly are. This is also why it's important to be true to yourself. To be genuine. Because if you try to pretend to be someone that you're not, if you try to conform to the expectations of others, then people will fall in love with the idea of you, not the real you. And eventually, one day they'll be disappointed. Because at some point, one or both parties realize that the other has fallen in love with the idea of them. They fall in love with the idea that you have fallen in love with them. And the sooner you realize this, the better off you'll be. Don't take it personally when someone rejects you. Don't take it to heart when someone doesn't like you. Just realize that they fell in love with the idea of you, and that's not who you truly are. The real you is deeper. It's more complex. It's more authentic, and the right person will love you for who you truly are. Let me tell you a story. There was a man who was in love with a woman. He thought she was the most beautiful woman in the world. He thought she was perfect, and he wanted to marry her. So he proposed to her, and she said yes. They got married, and they had a beautiful wedding. But after the wedding, the man started to notice that his wife was onto the same person he had fallen in love with. She wasn't as beautiful as he had imagined her to be. She wasn't as perfect as he had thought. He started to regret marrying her. He started to wonder if he had made a mistake. He went to a wise old man and he asked him, "Why did I fall in love with her? Why did I marry her?" And the wise old man said, "You fell in love with the idea of her. You fell in love with the image of her, the concept of her." He didn't really know her. The man was heartbroken. He didn't want to hear that. He didn't want to believe it. But deep down, he knew it was true. He had fallen in love with the idea of his wife, not his actual wife. The man went back to his wife and he told her everything. He told her how he felt, how he thought she wasn't the right person for him. She was heartbroken, obviously. She couldn't believe what he was saying. She thought that he was the love of her life. She thought that they were perfect for each other. But the man was adamant. He packed his bags and he left her. He never looked back. Now, this might sound like a sad story, but it's actually a very common story. It happens all the time. People fall in love with the idea of their partners, not their actual partners. And the reason for this is because people are always looking for something, some kind of feeling, some kind of experience, some kind of state of being. They think that love is going to fulfill this void, this emptiness inside of them. But they're wrong. Love is not the answer. Love is the question. What do you want to experience? What kind of feeling are you looking for? What kind of state of being do you want to achieve? That's what love is. Love is the question. And if you don't know what you're looking for, if you don't know what kind of feeling you want to experience, then you're never going to be able to find it in a relationship. Because relationships are just a reflection of ourselves. We are always attracting to us people who are a reflection of our own inner selves. So if you don't know who you are, if you don't know what you want, then you're never going to be able to find it in a relationship. So before you get into a relationship, before you start dating someone, ask yourself, what do I want? What am I looking for? What kind of feeling do I want to experience? And once you know that, then you can start to look for it outside of yourself. And that's where you'll find true love, true connection, true intimacy. So that's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching.